Yo, welcome to Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wiley. We got a big boxing show for y'all today. And if you know we talking boxing, we got my man Byron here ready to go bananas on everybody. But man, make sure y'all go on Spectator Sporting, subscribe to the page, YouTube, like, comment. Go on. We love y'all feedback on TikTok as well. And if you're riding in your car, go ahead and listen to it on Spotify. Another big-time heavyweight fight. We get a rematch between Oleksandr Usyk, 38 years old from the Ukraine, is the IBO, WBC, and WBA BO World Light Heavyweight Champion, 23-0, 14 knockouts, coming off two epic fights against Tyson Fury, winning both. Last fight won by 12 round unanimous decision. He will fight Daniel Dubois, 27, for the second time. Daniel Dubois from the UK. Last fight knocked out Anthony Joshua in the 5th round. He knocked down Joshua 4 times altogether to improve to 22-2 with 21 knockout. Now he wants revenge against the consensus pound for pound #1 fighter Oleksandr Usyk. Byron, what's your thought as Dubois tries to get revenge against the #1 guy, Usyk?
I like Daniel Dubois.
Okay.
Before August 26, 2023, Daniel Dubois was on a 4-fight knockout streak, and then he ran into Oleksandr Usyk. And Usyk is what Usyk is. You're not gonna hear any Usyk hate on this channel, even though I picked Fury to beat him in both of those fights. Usyk is just operating on a different level as far as boxing IQ, but Daniel Dubois is like, for those foundation boxing fans, a big heavyweight, not so technical, but just power. So much power that you cannot sit in front of this guy, you cannot get clipped by one of his overhand rights and survive. You know, the only thing is with these type of fighters, sometimes they are susceptible to the knockout, which you can see at his record, 22-2. He has 21 knockouts and he has been knocked out 2 times. But again, it's nothing to say negative about this kid. This kid is 27-year-old and he is on the cusp of fighting the best heavyweight in the world, not once, but twice. Daniel Dubois, coming into this fight, is on a 3-fight knockout streak where he dispatched Anthony Joshua at Wembley, which is like end of your life type memory shit. Like, that is a big stage to get a big win, and it basically just lined up this fight for him, and I'm excited to see it.
Definitely another exciting heavyweight fight. The #1 guy, Usyk. How does Daniel Dubois go into this fight?
Well, Daniel Dubois was the underdog versus Anthony Joshua. But towards the very end of the 1st round, a Dubois overhand right dropped Anthony Joshua. Joshua, he barely got up. He did get up, but he didn't look right. He was dazed, confused, and somehow, some way, Joshua lasted to the 5th round where he got the KO and he lost the fight, okay? And so before the Joshua fight, Daniel Dubois had consecutive victories. He had a 10th round TKO over Jarrell Big Baby Miller and an 8th round TKO over Philip Hergovich for that IBF title. Now, after the Anthony Joshua fight, Dubois was looking very dangerous. But there was another heavyweight not named Usyk who was also looking very dangerous. That is the guy from New Zealand, Joseph Parker. Okay. 5 months ago, Daniel Dubois was supposed to fight Joseph Parker. Okay. But all of a sudden, Daniel Dubois pulled out the fight because he got sick. Okay. He claims he was sick. 2 days before the fight, he pulls out the fight. Now, this was very unfortunate for Joseph Parker, who hasn't had a title fight for a primary belt in 7 years. 7 years ago when he lost his belt to Anthony Joshua, okay? And this was also, this sudden sickness by Dubois getting out the fight, that was also very unfortunate for Martin Bakole, who took the fight 2 days before the fight. He clearly wasn't in shape. He goes in there and fights Joseph Parker and gets knocked out in the 2nd round. Bakole tried to bounce back against Efe Ajagba, the Nigerian boxer. He didn't look good in the fight. He was fortunate. Martin Bakole was fortunate to get the draw in that fight. So this year it's not going good for Martin Bakole, okay? And it's funny how Kid Austin took a lot of heat for doing the same thing.
I was gonna say this though. In his defense, multiple people got sick, like during that card. And I don't think, if you look at Daniel Dubois, I mean, I think the kid's too young to be ducking to set up a championship fight. I mean, I think he wanted to fight Parker. I think it would have been a hell of a fight. I wanted that fight to happen. But I don't think I think Kid Holyfield, I believe his name is.
There you go.
But Kid Holyfield was anticipated / expected to pull out of that fight. Maybe he sees a situation with some sickness, multiple boxers complaining of having those flu-like symptoms that pushed Dubois out of that fight. But I don't think you compare those two guys in a sense, because one was expected to do it. It was just, how is Holyfield gonna do it? And he did it with putting some damn speakers, some headphones, wireless headphones in his nose, real sick, whatever. But I don't think Dubois, avoided Parker, for an opportunity. And I think he kind of made up for that with the next fight that he fought. But
yeah, well, he ducked. Here's the thing. When it comes down to boxing, it's so corrupt.
It is.
I just really can't just take I was sick. I was too sick to fight. Because, Frank Warren, Queensberry, that's the promotion company that Dubois is under. They could have been like, hey, look, Parker's hot right now. We want another shot at Usyk. Maybe that's more money for them. And they didn't want to fight Parker, who could probably
derail those plans.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and they both hot. That's like the two hottest, guys, not Usyk in the heavyweight division. Who didn't want to see that fight? That's a main event fight.
Yeah.
But I don't think Dubois pulls out of that, for another opportunity, because he's on a collision course. He's already fought Usyk. He's on a collision course to fight him again. Why cheat Parker out of that opportunity? Well,
Parker, he got the short end of the stick, man, and so I hope he gets opportunity. But now, Daniel Dubois going against Usyk, he needs to jump into the ring like a bat out of hell when he fights Usyk, similar to how he did against Anthony Joshua. Because the longer this fight goes on, the better Oleksandr Usyk gets. Even though Father Time is on Dubois' side. Dubois is 27 years old, Usyk is 38 years old. Okay, but fighters usually get the first 6 to 9 rounds to get rid of Oleksandr Usyk. Okay. If you look at Usyk's first fight versus Tyson Fury in the 6th round, Fury hurt Oleksandr Usyk with a couple of uppercuts, but Tyson Fury did his classic showboating. He was doing too much showboating, doing too much playing around rather than finishing Usyk. He let Usyk hang around, and then in the 9th round, Tyson Fury was fortunate that the referee prevented the knockout. Because
that should have been game. It should have been game over right there.
Yeah, because Usyk was drilling Fury, and the ref jumped in there. I thought the fight was over, but he prevented a knockout.
I don't agree.
Yeah, but but that's Fury's fault for not getting rid of him in that 6th round. And then you look at the Daniel Dubois fight against Usyk, right, with the phantom low blow that happened.
Where Usyk was knocked out.
Yeah, but that happened in the 5th round.
Right.
And then the referee didn't start counting. He didn't do the standing 8 count. He didn't do none of that. He didn't make it a 10-8 round. Right. He let Usyk recover, and he got back up, and he bounced back. And in the 8th round, he knocked down Dubois. In the 9th round, he knocked him out. Right. So really, you got like 6 rounds to get rid of Usyk. If you don't get rid of him in the first half of the fight, it's pretty much over.
It's tough.
No, definitely. But Usyk is the #1 guy. 2 great classic fights, 2 big time victories over Tyson Fury and beat Dubois. So going Usyk, he's trying to remain perfect at the age of 38, Adi.
Right.
How does he return? How does he stay perfect in this fight? What does he got to do against a hungry Daniel Dubois coming into this fight?
Well, I want to go back to that first fight between Dubois and Usyk. Okay, so now I was thinking about. Now, Tank Davis took a lot of substantial criticism for taking a knee against Lamont Roach. Okay, the ref didn't start counting. He took a punch from Roach. He was hurt. He took a knee, and the ref allowed him to essentially take a timeout and recover from the punch and get back to fighting. Usyk did something similar to what Tank did. He got punched with the phantom low blow. He was on the ground. The ref didn't start counting. Usyk's hurt. It's not a 10-8 round. He lets him recover. I mean, Usyk was on the camera so long, you could have went to the kitchen, made a sandwich, made a drink, made a phone call, came back, he still would have had his ass on the canvas, okay?
So made a phone call, cooked something. Oh.
Man, you could have did it all. I mean, this guy was on the, I don't know how long he was down there, okay?
Right.
So, as usual, Usyk recovered. He bounced back, okay? And towards the end of the 8th round, he gave Dubois a quick 5-punch combination, which knocked him down. And then in the 9th round, he ended Dubois' night with a painful left hand, okay? And so, after Usyk defeated Tyson Fury for the 2nd time, Daniel Dubois jumped into the ring and yelled at Usyk, "I want my revenge," okay?
Yep.
But Dubois is going to have to establish some level of defensive strategy if he wants to get that revenge. I mean, you don't see a lot of head movement. You don't see his guard. His guard is kind of wide and everything. So he needs to do something about his defensive skills, defensive strategy, and things like that. And apparently, no heavyweight can do a damn thing with Usyk in the championship rounds. Okay.
Yeah.
But Dubois does present a problem, a huge problem for Usyk. He is more powerful than Tyson Fury. He's more powerful than Anthony Joshua, and he can knock out Usyk. He's the only one that really really dropped Usyk. Okay, so he can knock him out.
Definitely can't wait to see this fight. 2 big-time heavyweights. Brian, how you looking at Usyk coming to this fight?
There's nothing really negative you can say about Usyk coming out for the 2 Tyson Fury's fights. And I know a couple of my colleagues, Adi, has a lot of shade to throw on Tyson Fury. But Tyson Fury had a very herky-jerky style that was very hard and problematic to figure out. And no one figured out. But Usyk did. And Usyk what makes him special is he's not a natural heavyweight. He's actually a cruiser that's coming up here and is actually just dominating big men on the inside. I don't have anything negative to say, but when it comes to Daniel Dubois, that is a heavyweight that you do have a history with, and he did hurt you. And he hurt you long enough for you to be put out of that fight because you didn't seem capable of even answering the call at a 10 count. And it definitely it sails this fight. It makes you believe that there's hope. But if you are looking at this from any type of I guess tactical standpoint, every check goes to Usyk. Usyk, ring IQ, Usyk, better puncher on the inside, Usyk with the better motor. And if this fight gets to the championship rounds, it is damn near a 0.0 something other chance that Dubois would be able to, battle his fatigue and still be tactically sound to have a chess match with Usyk 9 through 12. And that is the problem that faces Dubois. Dubois, this is his Super Bowl, and he is a very, very heavy underdog.
Well, definitely. I mean, the number one Usyk, number one ranked pound for pound fighter. So, Dubois coming into this fight, like y'all said, he's on fire. He's been on a knockout spree lately. Usyk coming off 2 classic victories over Tyson Fury and beating Dubois before. So, both of these fighters come in on a very hot streak, if you could say. So, Byron, who's going to win this fight and how is it going to happen?
I'm going back to August 26th. August 26th, I was watching that fight. At the time when I watched it, I didn't think that was a low blow. Of course, we didn't have the replay that we had after the fact, but I didn't think it was a low blow. But I saw him hurt Usyk. And, this is one of those fights where it can play out, of course, the way the mainstream wants it to play out, where Usyk once again dominates Daniel Dubois, or it can play out in another way. And that is Daniel Dubois at 27 years old, realizing his dream and knocking off the best heavyweight that we've seen probably in a decade. So I am a master of chaos. I love chaos. I love chaos. And when I was looking at this fight, and I loved Usyk's demeanor after the Fury fight, but you have to understand, a fight that close with those competitive rounds, it takes so much out of you.
Yeah.
And there's
That's a good
only
point.
one aspect of boxing that is undefeated. It's never been beaten, no draws, and that is Father Time. Father Time robs our heroes of everything.
Yes.
And this is going to be a Father Time victory for Daniel Dubois.
I love it.
Daniel Dubois is going to knock Usyk out in the 6th round. He's
Whoa!
going to catch him. He's going to knock him out. And again, before you run to the comment section and annihilate me, I'm betting on the chaos. And I'm betting on the fact that you're 38 years old. You're coming off a very, very hard stretch of 24 rounds with someone I consider one of the second best heavyweights of this 10-year era. And it takes something out of you. And I think he's going to be missing that something. And Dubois will have an opening where he can land a shot, hurt Usyk, and finish him.
I love it. Valid points. I mean, the age, you do got to think about the age. Being 38 years old, you coming off 2 grueling fights against Tyson Fury, so you don't know how your body's going to respond. Who you got winning this fight?
Well, I'm sure the Gypsy King will be ringside because he
making a comeback, right?
Making a comeback.
Retirement over that quick.
He's coming back, and he says he wants a trilogy fight versus Oleksandr Usyk, but no, I don't want to hear that. Fight Anthony Joshua, okay? I don't want to see no trilogy.
And I think that's the fight that they're going to make. I really think I don't think he wants to fight Usyk a third time.
Yeah, they should have fought like 5 years ago, okay? And make it happen, all right? And Daniel Dubois has only been involved in one fight that did not end in a knockout 7 years ago against Kevin Johnson. And not too often do you see a guy get knocked out in the first fight and get a rematch. Then in the second fight, get knocked out again. And
right.
This happened to a boxing legend, Smoking Joe Frazier versus George Foreman.
Wow.
George Foreman knocked out Smoking Joe twice.
Yeah.
Usyk's gonna knock out Daniel Dubois twice. He's gonna knock him out again. And this time it's gonna be in the 8th round.
I love it. Before I get mine, y'all can step in. Like, what's in the heavyweight division? You know, it's a lot of movement. You know, with Tyson Fury maybe coming back. We don't know what Anthony Joshua. What's the significance of this fight right here?
That's a good question. I don't really know the significance of this fight. I would rather see Daniel Dubois against Joseph Parker, and I like Daniel Dubois, but I think this is a fight that has a lot of boxing politics kind of tangled in it. And therefore, I don't see the rush and you know, that we've had with heavyweight fights in the past, where people have been like amped up for a fight. Not a lot of people are even talking about this fight, but I think we kind of missed the chance to have a great fight before this fight. And I think if Daniel Dubois beats Joseph Parker, he's a better Daniel Dubois. And keep in mind, Daniel Dubois has to be his best self to win this fight. He has to fight a fight that we won't even recognize him for this to be competitive. But I think this fight is not that significant because Usyk has already proved to the world he's the best heavyweight in the world. So the only place for him to go right now is down. And so now when you watch Usyk fights, you're only looking for him to see if there's a chip in the armor, to see if he's a little slower. And what I like about Usyk is this ain't no tomato can fight.
No.
This is a legit fight. This is a legit heavyweight champion that can dispatch you. But, you know, as far as relevant to the heavyweight circus, nah, it's not.
Well, you know what? Byron hit the nail on the head. I mean, this is Joseph Parker. This fight is about ducking Joseph Parker because you know what?
Duck, he say he didn't.
Right.
I'm not gonna say you duck.
Well, here's the
but
thing.
it is. I can't not argue someone that calls it a duck because it looks suspicious. It does.
Have we ever seen a fight scheduled and then it get canceled and then these two guys fight later on? That's happened before, right? Because remember the first fight between Fury and Usyk was supposed to happen earlier, but then Fury had the cut. Remember Fury had the cut, and they canceled the fight and they backed it up.
Yeah.
So that's what should have happened with Joseph Parker and Daniel Dubois.
I totally agree.
They should have fought this. We should be talking about Joseph Parker and Daniel Dubois fighting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we should be talking about.
Yeah.
And you're right because Joseph Parker is not a knockout artist, just like Usyk.
Right.
So here's the thing: Dubois has never been past round 10 in his career. So if you're fighting Joseph Parker, a guy who always usually go to 12-round decisions,
that helps you assess.
that's going to help you. Okay, boom, you fought Joseph Parker, you won by decision. All right, now you have confidence to be in the championship round. Now you fight Usyk, and now you know how it is to fight in round 11, 12.
But we live in an era where these fighters don't understand that you make yourself better when you fight more competitive fights.
No.
The fans win and you win. Because you're fighting somebody, you might lose, you might be able to lose the bag, but if you don't lose the bag, you that much better. You're that much better moving forward. So, and these fighters they protect their image, they protect their positions, and it makes the sport so much less competitive. That's why we root for these outside entities, Dana White and Turkey, and what they're trying to do, because it's just such a corruption to where I can't argue when you say this is a duck, because you see Joseph Parker, who's on just as good a run as Daniel Dubois, and he gets pushed to the back of the line after this fight. Like, even after this fight, there's no talk of him, fighting the winner of it. So it's definitely a bad situation.
Yeah, because it doesn't. If you beat, I just don't see. I don't see why he would dodge him. You know what I mean? But it's.
But I mean, in his position, you get a chance to fight the undisputed, heralded heavyweight champion of the world. You're not gonna say no to that and fight Joseph Parker. You're gonna say, fuck it, I'll fight Usyk. And that's the part of me that, while as a fan, I sit here and I say, man, it's not fair. I hate that. You gotta look at these guys and the financial ramifications of fighting certain fights. And this is a much more lucrative fight than a Joseph Parker fight. And even if you lose this fight, you still could bend the block and fight a Joseph Parker, because you're losing to the best heavyweight in the world.
Definitely gave himself some wiggle room. With that being said, I got Usyk in the 7th round. I just think as the fight goes on, Usyk gonna find his rhythm. And
I love that again.
7th round knockout, I say.
I can't pick against Usyk.
I can't pick.
It's hard. But I've already done it twice, so I'm gonna do it again. Let's
go. Hopefully we get another great fight. You've been watching Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach, along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wally. Shout out to Burn. Make sure y'all go on Spectator Sporting YouTube page. Subscribe, like, comment. Keep coming with those comments on TikTok. If you're riding in the car, go ahead and put us on Spotify. In the meantime, we out. Peace.